Oh, not yet. Hello, hello. It is C with C. Thanks for coming to chat with me. And this is the Monday meetup where every Monday between the hours of 7 and 8 p.m. you get some content. And today you all got a little bit of a double header. I premiered my Jewel of the Seas embarkation blog. And then today I'm here to chat about recap with you all on Explorer of the Seas, which is a cruise ship I just got off 9 whole days over the last week or so. So come on in here, let's chat cruising, let's chat travel, and let's see who we have in the chat. And I'm sorry, I had a big old bowl of spaghetti right before starting. And some of y'all know Mondays are my long day. I am back in the office after like 46 days of being away. So I am getting back into the swing of things. Let's see who we have. We got Mickey's Adventure here saying good night. Hello, good night, Mickey, and happy Monday to you too. Hopefully you had a good start. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my lips. Hopefully you had a good start to your week, Mickey. I know I did. I kind of eased into the work week a little bit. There we go. I eased into the work week a little bit. And so it was a good Monday overall. Tonight was the last night that I had to lecture. Woo. We got one more class the students present. So I'll have my Mondays back to myself. I'm looking forward to it, which means you all will start getting content back around the 7 o'clock hour versus this late 8 o'clock hour. Mickey is telling y'all as y'all enter to hit the thumbs up. Yes, hit your thumbs up just to show support. Just helps push out the algorithm a little bit. Letting people know this is worthwhile content related to cruising. Mario, hey Mario says, I figured you were sipping wine on a cruise ship right now. Well, I'm sipping wine, just not on a cruise ship. And this mug is from, I love these wine tumblers. This one was actually from, and don't look at my nails. I'm trying to get back into my self-care routine after being allegedly unemployed for about a month. But Team Reese Travels gifted me this mug. So I'm sipping wine, just not on the cruise ship. But if you come back next week, next Monday the 24th, we have a trip announcement, which means that I'll be back on the high seas soon. Crazy whole body. So thanks, Mario. And I'm drinking, what am I drinking? I'm drinking this is Cab Sauv. Who else we got? Crazy Homebody Girl saying good evening. Hey, Crazy Homebody Girl, love that dress in the chat, girl, or in your what's it called? In your what is that called? Oh Lord, I'm forgetting words. It's late. In your thumbnail, I think that's what it's called. Mickey says my work week starts tomorrow night. Oh, are you in healthcare? Who else we got? Marilyn Mel Tibbs in the building. What up? Thank you for Marilyn for being a channel member. Saying good evening. Or hey, C, hey, in chat. Good evening, Marilyn. Thanks for being here. I'm hitting the wrong button. Let's see. Big Murph is in the building saying, hey, seeing everyone in the chat. Hey, Murph, I was laughing at your comment on my Jewel of the Seas vlog about knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. So if you all don't know, I premiered the Jewel of the Seas embarkation vlog. So the first day on Jewel of the Seas, that vlog is available to you after this live stream. Go watch it. It's a short and sweet little 9-minute situation. So check it out to see how things do on Seas. But definitely, Murph, I had to know when to fold them because that casino was stingy. My cruising family's in the building. Welcome in one of our moderators. Good to see you, Peter. Thanks for being in here and supporting. Lisa T says, yay, trip announcement. We'll have a trip announcement next week. Today we are recapping my time on Explorer of the Seas. So that was casino cruise number 2. But I'm not going to get too deep into the casino realm for Royal Caribbean. I want to talk more about the ship and the experience because that was my first back-to-back experience on Royal Caribbean. But it was just so interesting that the 2 sailings had 2 totally different vibes. So the first sailing was a 3-day, was it 3? No, it's 4 days. I was on Explorer the Seas a total of 9 nights, which I will say for 9 nights for me, I kind of have to be on a bigger ship. Explorer, after a while I was kind of like, okay, I can get off right now. It was an okay ship experience. It's probably not my favorite Royal Caribbean ship. It was definitely, like I said, if Mariner and Independence were to have a baby, like that was Explorer the Seas. It definitely got the job done. Because my goal right now is I'm focusing on hitting diamond on Royal. I hit emerald. I think, Lord willing, the creek don't rise and all the stars fall into place. I should be able to hit diamond by the end of the year on Royal. That's my goal. But it definitely got me some points. I got 18 points. It got me the emerald. So I'm working my way on up. But next week is be the trip announcement. Lisa T just kind of reviewing what it was like being on the ship. Mickey's waving hi. Hi, Tammy Johnson. Thanks for being here. I think that's a newish name to live stream. So happy you were able to pop by. Mickey says she is in healthcare. Good to know. Yep. So your work week starts tomorrow. That means long hours. My cruise family says typing from my phone on the way home from work. How are y'all? We are doing well, my cruising family. I just got off of the high seas on Friday the 15th after sailing 9 days. So yeah, the first cruise was kind of the epitome of a 4-day booze cruise. And when I say like I've never seen Royal Caribbean that like, if channel members got the raw and uncut version, I'm gonna have to keep it a little cleaner for the live stream. But it was a lot going on Explore the Seas. So there was a MTV what is it called? An MTV tribute group cruise, but it was kind of a scam that was on board. So apparently like this cruise organizer or something like that was supposed to be organized like this MTV sort of meetup. Well, people allegedly didn't get their cabins and some other stuff, but there were a bunch of people who actually sailed. So they were bringing like some sort of energy that was kind of like a bunch of 40 and 45-year-olds kind of like living out their MTV late teen to 20-year-old dreams on board. There was a lot of bachelorette parties, birthday parties. There were some costumes that I think were a little tongue-in-cheek in the sense of race relations. So it was, I told the channel members that Explore the Seas, that first 4-night sailing was a little it was very Florida and Georgia. So the next sailing though, and that one just went to Bimini, and no, we didn't go to Bimini. We went to Perfect Day, and where else did we go? Perfect Day, or did we do Perfect Day and then turn right around? I think we might have had Perfect Day sandwiched between 2 sea days. Don't give me a line. Did we have another stop? It was Thursday. We boarded sea day. Saturday was Perfect Day, sea day. Yep, and then we came back. So it was only one stop, which I kind of like that itinerary. It wasn't a whole lot to like do in regards to, you just had to like just be on the ship. So I kind of like that itinerary, that sandwich between the sea days. The next sailing though was my speed. The next sailing was a 5-day sailing, and I would say like the people were much more calm. It was more diverse in regards to the sailors. Like people were from more places. I met a lot. Texas was in the building on that cruise. There was people from just like a variety of parts of the country. So that sailing was more of like the traditional, I think, Royal Caribbean vibe that I'm used to. I had my guards up on that first sailing, like. But anyway, but in regards to just overall ship experience, I mean, Explorer was cool. It is one of those ships that has the Royal Promenade, so it's big enough for that, but still small enough to kind of just navigate everything. It just didn't have a lot that, like, I would say knocked my socks off. Well, I take that back. The one thing that did knock my socks off was there was a whirlpool concept in the what is it called, in the gym. That was one of my favorites. So I'm going to create like a short video in regards to like some of my favorite spots on Explore the Seas. But that was kind of like just my initial impressions. We stopped at Grand Turk. And those of you who are following, let me get back into the comments real quick. Crazy Homebody Girl is saying, thank you, no problem. Folks are speaking. Hey, Monet to the T. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Oh, we got our first question. Dun, dun, dun. Mario says, do you plan to release the remainder of your Disney trip? I could be wrong, but I think one day is missing. Oh, the Disney, I put out a, what is it called? I put out a it's not a movie, it's like a 45-minute full kind of recap of my Disney cruise on Disney Fantasy. So thank you for that question, Mario. So I put it out like a few maybe a little over a week ago, like 9 days ago. It has Disney Fantasy Solo on the thumbnail. It was literally like the most recent video I think I've done since Jewel of the Seas. So if you kind of click on sort by recent, it's there. But yeah, I finished up that series on Disney. What's it called? Disney Fantasy Mediterranean Cruise. So it was cool. Thank you for answering that question. And that's some reason why like some of us do like those movie kind of style vlogs where we just have one big vlog after doing a series, because a lot of times the individual videos kind of get lost. But yeah, it's out there. And if not, message me and I'm happy to send you the link. Big Mercs is laughing. And I kept going back to Explore the Seas. This is also my first time having like both of my cabins had some sort of issue. So my first cabin had, and again, like I'm not complaining in the sense like it was immediately remedied. It was just kind of, it was odd to have two different rooms. I had an ocean view room, which is the first time having an ocean view on Royal Caribbean, I believe. But I had two different rooms, and each room had an issue. Now, Royal was very quick to remedy them, but it was just kind of interesting to like have back-to-back rooms issues. So the first room, I had a cold shower. So literally like went down to guest services and I was like, hey, is the hot water out on the floor? And they were like, on third floor, and they were like, no. And I was like, well, I just took a cold shower. So they and then I kind of went out to Coco Cay. They had it fixed before I got back. And because y'all know Mario said it, I love my wine. They gifted me 2 bottles of white wine. So actually I think they ran out of red wine because the lady was like, do you want white or red? And I was like, give me red. I guess they ran out of red. I got 2 bottles of white wine. So I was gracious for that. And it was a quick fix. And they overcompensated with the hot water because it ended up being like hot, really hot for the rest of the cruise, which I love a good steamy shower. Crazy Home Body Girl says, I'm gonna be on the Explorer of the Seas in March for a 4-day cruise. Oh, what's your itinerary? And see, I don't know if it was also because it was like the holiday weekend. It just felt very interesting. If you're a channel member, I gave kind of the more detailed, exactly kind of the vibe that was going on for that 4-day. But it might not be like that for every 4-day sailing. It just could have been literally, I think, just one having that MTV group. Even though they didn't make like a ton of, like, they didn't make a big percentage of the group. It just was like, it was just a lot of 40 to 50-year-olds who were just kind of acting like children. And that just, I don't know, it was I just had never seen like some of the behaviors that I had saw like that on Royal to the extent. So I ended up stayed on board. Did y'all know though, and I did not know, for the back-to-back process, you get a special lunch on Royal. So you literally just go back around, scan your ID, your passport, basically your facial recognition. You do that again. They allow you back on board. And about 11:30 to 1:30 in the dining room, they have a special lunch for back-to-back cruisers. Now, I was thinking it was going to be like a little rinky-dink lunch. They had some sort of broiled scallop. They had a brie short rib. Something else. I can't remember what I had, but it was a nice little lunch in the main dining room for back-to-back cruisers. So that was a nice little touch. But the 5-day cruisers were definitely kind of I'm like, yeah, this is my speed. This is my speed of folks. And yeah, we went to Grand Turk. Let me see. I'll read some more comments and then get back into my comment about what happened on Grand Turk that I did some exploration, just not the exploration I was thinking I would be doing. Mickey's Adventure says, I have done the Explorer of the Seas 9-night sailing 3 times. Woo! And see, like for me, for a 9-night, I feel like I just need to be on a really big ship for a 9-night. Except for I did like the vibes of Jewel of the Seas. Even though Jewel was a smaller ship, I feel like I could be on that small ship for much longer. I don't know. Independent, something about that make, I feel like it's missing something. I can't put my finger on like what exactly it's missing. That class of ship, but they just doesn't give me the And Mickey says, I love each of them in a different way. Well, that's cool. Each cruise had its own personality. Mickey's Adventure says, mash your thumbs up. Yes, please mash thumbs up. Number participants in the chat. We'll greatly appreciate it. Question number 2 is from Drew. Hi, Drew. Welcome in. He says, hi, do you purchase any picture packages for any cruise you have done? No, Drew. Pictures are not my ministry. However, my cruising family can give you some good tips. And I believe, if I'm listening right, my cruising family highly recommends MSC Cruises photographers for photo packages. But I'm just not the I even struggle with remembering to take pictures as a content creator. I sometimes struggle to take video as a content creator. But yeah, pictures aren't my ministry. But there are some people in the chat. If you have any specific questions about like which cruise line or prices, there are people in the chat who like I know MH Family Adventures frequently does the photo package. I know my cruising family frequently does the photo package, so they can give you some insight. I just haven't. Now I like to spend my money on. I'll spend my money on food packages. I'll spend my money on excursions. Of course, sometimes I need Wi-Fi to do work on board. That's kind of where I spend most of my fun. Did I say drinks? Crazy Homebody Girls is not a scam. Yeah. So what happened was I was telling y'all on my sailing, because you know each Facebook group kind of has each sailing of ships usually has a Facebook group. So I like to join the Facebook group. Sometimes I'm super active. Sometimes I'm just kind of scoping the scene. And as we got closer to the trip, somebody had put up a post saying like, we keep getting these questions about this MTV group. So it almost made it seem like they had chartered the ship. So people who were like regular sailors like me who had just, picked this sailing for whatever reason, some of those people were kind of like, well, are these MTV cruisers going to be like in the way? Are they going to be, all over the ship? Because like the chat was being inundated with all these questions about this like mysterious MTV. It was called the Challenge Cruise. Which I guess MTV had a, one of the reality TV series. Only one girl like actually looked familiar, Cara Maria or something like that. Maria Cara, I can't remember, but her face looked familiar from my MTV days. But I really didn't know who the quote unquote stars of the show were. Pauly, apparently, which I think was Jersey Shore. I don't know, but cast members from MTV's The Challenge were supposed to be on board. So because the cruise planners, the people who were planning the cruise weren't responding to the people that booked, like these people started like infiltrating into the regular Facebook group, asking all these questions about this quote unquote MTV cruise. So, like the older folks were getting like a little anxious, like I'm here to relax. Are they gonna be like running around, all this other stuff? So, finally somebody put in the thing that like there have been rooms canceled, and if you are a part of the MTV cruise, we've created our own separate group. It was basically given like Fire Festival of the Seas, to the point that somebody actually got on board wearing a shirt called Fire Festival of the Seas. I'm not sure how like they were saying they didn't pay some of the entertainment. Some of the stars from MTV, stars like the reality TV personalities, some of them didn't, some of the quotes didn't get paid. Some people had pulled out. It was just like a bit of a mess. So they finally took their issues to a side chat, but some of them decided they would, I guess, still stay on the ship and sail anyway. So it was a good number of them, but it just kind of brought some like college-y, like I'm 40 and 50, but living out my college days energy. And it just was a slightly annoying for me, but can't help it. But apparently, okay, I'm gonna wrap this part up. But apparently the organizers had organized a Big Brother cruise over the summer that was also a flop. So y'all be mindful of, whatever these little like theme cruises are. Again, when you are booking these groups, they should be able to provide you your receipt that's directly your booking confirmation, that is directly from the cruise line to make sure that you are actually on the ship. So just be mindful of that. Now, granted, like the price isn't going to be the same as like the regular cruise. So, like somebody had posted the price and they were like almost $2,000 for an interior for a 4-day cruise. But I'm guessing like, sometimes that price is a little elevated because they got, performances, they got ship spaces, those kind of things. But yeah, basically the event organizers it seemed like stopped talking to people. And then some people were like, yeah, they did the same thing over the summer for a Big Brother cruise. I'm just floored with that they could actually use the same name, like hey MCV and hey people who run Big Brother, like these people are using your name and having these like flops of cruises. So hi Black GLTV, good to see you again. It's been a little while. Mickey says I've done a 4-night cruise and it was a tease, too short for me. Now 4-night I don't mind. 3-night is definitely way too short. My first 3-night cruise was on Disney Wish, and I was like, Lord, I feel like I just boarded the ship. Sheila White says, oh, hi, Sheila. Thanks for being here. I think your name is new too. Thanks for popping by the channel. Mario says, sorry, I was referring to your Orlando Disney trip. Did I miss something? A video? Or are you talking about the one that are you talking about the remainder? I don't know. All my Disney vlogs have been released. I am hosting a Disney meetup next October. So the Good Gov Getaway 2026 is next October. And I finally have a visual for that, even though I didn't load it up into the my live stream slides. But yeah, is that what you're talking about? But all my Disney content is up. And the reason why it's up because my Disney content does not do super good. And I have to like spread it out because something about the algorithms, you get three videos that are like 300 views, you get locked into 300 view purgatory for a bit. And it's a little hard to get out. But I like to share the information. But I just know whenever I get into videos like that, it's going to be stuck for a bit. My cruising family says yes to the special fancy lunch. Yeah, and I was not expecting anything. I just expected it was going to be like their usual lunch, it was definitely, even it was elevated to the point that the menu was like a nice card stock. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. And they had 2 separate lunches. So like the people with the key were on one side of the restaurant and people who were back-to-back cruisers were on the other side. So you had to tell them like which one you were. They had a list that they double checked. I'm not sure we both had the same type of food, but I just found it interesting that they put us on 2 separate sides of the dining room. So that would make me think that maybe we had 2 different menus, but our menu was that little scallop situation. It was basically like was tasty. It was basically like a escargot, but with scallops versus the snails. Oh, and I had this spicy, I'm like, it was coming to me, spicy like tomato pasta, sun-dried tomato pasta. That was kind of delicious too. Hey, Turkisha, she says, I'm here. Hey, girl. Hey, Turkisha girl, welcome in. Black Geo says, what made you fall in love with cruising? Oh, I love that question. Well, I don't know if it's cruising per se, or if I'm just in love with travel. My first cruise was in 96, but I think I just like to get away. And then as I started like developing my channel, I noticed that cruising is kind of the hook. So if you look at my videos, typically the cruising videos are going to do really good views and my land-based doesn't do as well. So cruising is kind of my niche. I think it's also easy to do as a solo traveler. It's less thought and planning. Like I don't mind doing a land-based trip, but when you do land-based trips, you have to be like so on. And you kind of feel guilty when land-based, when you're like, you have that one night or two where you're just like, you know what? I don't feel like going out. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I don't want to do anything. You feel a little guilty with like doing that, out of the country. Whereas cruising, you could be sitting there in your cabin, like you're like, oh, I'm just going to order room service, watch TV and call it a day. So a piece of me just loves travel. I appreciate solo travel. It's just that cruising kind of is the hook for my channel. But if you're a land-based lover, I have what and I also love cruising because I'm a bit of a water baby. I love water. My family said like it was one of my kryptonites as a baby. Like if they wanted me ever to go to sleep, just put me in a tub and I'm going. But yeah, that's kind of what I guess made me fall in love with cruising, like water, the relaxation, getting away from it all. I love the ships. Like I just love finding like little nooks and crannies on ships and like plush loungers, places to sit around the ships. But yeah, I just think it's a little easier than land-based travel. But I have some land-based content coming. I have content from Portugal coming, and I have content from um Denmark over the summer. So stay tuned, land-based people. I think I'm gonna slide it in somewhere in between the Jewel of the Seas series. And welcome in everybody. My name is Carlene, solo traveler extraordinaire, and this is my channel, See It With C, where every Monday, this is the Monday Meetup, where every Monday we have some content for you. And tonight at 7, I started with my premiere of the Jewel of the Seas embarkation vlog, and then now we are doing a live review of Explorer of the Seas, which I was on for 9 whole days. And kind of recapping that experience for you. My cruising family is chiming in about the photo package. Peter says, thank you, girl. Yes, highly recommend MSC and Disney's photos. And talking about Disney's photo package, I love how Disney does that, like the green screen work where they'll tell you like, hold out your hand, look this way, and then next thing you know, there's like a genie and a lamp on your hand. Like, yeah. So thank you for chiming in about that. And Peter has really good content related to, not just talking about like she shows you like what the pictures look like. So if you want to compare notes on MSC or Disney, check out. I think her most recent vlog series was World America. So check it out. Turkish says COC is not her photos are not my ministry. They're not. I'm the friend, and I have another friend just like this. You got 2 snaps of a photo and I'm walking off. Which is again hilarious to be a content creator because I'm a person who like I want to experience it. And I also like taking pictures of things. So I remember when I went to Paris, which was my first solo trip, I took this stack of photos down to my dad. And I was like, here, Dad, here's my trip to Paris, look. And so my dad who loves pictures, he is like almost our family unofficial archivist. He has photo albums upon photo albums. My dad also we used to just set up a camcorder in the living room sometimes. Like he filmed a lot of stuff. So he was flipping through the pictures and he said, but you're not in any of these. And I was like, dang, I like to take pictures. And it made me aware. I like to take pictures of things, not necessarily myself, but I need to be mindful of, like, particularly as a creator now, like I need to get into thumbnails. I need to lock in the memories because some places I see are absolutely beautiful, but I am not you got 2 takes. And even with myself, sometimes I'm like, girl, you got 2 shots. So whatever one works. Hey, Mark, what up? He says, glad you're feeling great. Made it back home safe from the 9-day run. Yes, made it back safe with only a small injury. That's Frankenfinger. So some of you all were aware if you were watching my stories. I cut myself with my Gillette razor on Grand Turk Day. So I had these grand plans of when I got to Grand Turk, I was going to try something new. So I've done the Jack Shack. It's one on the right called Whale. Of course, I've done like Margaritaville Pool a couple of times. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try something new on Grand Turk. Well, apparently trying something new was catching a cab to a pharmacy because I literally sliced a chunk off my finger. So and it's so funny how like things happen. And how sometimes that small voice in your gut says like, don't do this. And you do something anyway. So literally I had showered that morning, I had shaved, and something was like, just leave the razor in the shower. And I was like, no, I'm not, it's a 5-day cruise. I'm not going to shave no more. I'm going to just put it away. It's less stuff to put away. The one time I decided to be responsible, but my gut was just like, no, just leave it in the shower, keep getting dressed. But nope, listen, ignored that still small voice. And literally I have one of those hanging kits that like you hang your, what is it called? Your toiletry kits. And my razor was sticking out like this. And so I'm like digging through the kit to find some facial moisturizer. I drop the moisturizer and I reach out to catch it, and my finger goes clean down the blades of my razor. At first, I was kind of like, how you just like feel like you kind of hit the edge of something. So I thought I had just kind of like, swiped against my bag. And then I looked up, and as soon as I see the razor, I'm like, oh, yeah. So I look at my finger, and I'm immediately like trying to run around the room because I'm like, please don't bleed in these people's room. Then I'm like, I don't want to use their towels because I don't want to make the stewardess worried. So I found like some tissue boxes, a tissue box that I wrapped my finger up. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, well maybe stand right here, hold it. It's gonna stop bleeding. No. It like kept it's still bleeding like minutes. So I'm like, well, let me like sit down, and I'm like, okay, like sit down, like okay, let me put it above my head. I forgot the part about like, Mickey, this is what I need you. Like I'm supposed to like apply pressure here, but I just like put it above my head. I'm holding it, and this thing still isn't bleeding. It still like won't fully stop. Like it was like Russian bleeding, and it would stop. I would move and it would bleed some more. So I was like, you know what? I am not spending $300. I am not spending $300 in this infirmary for two reasons. A, I'm like, the way this is bleeding, whatever they're going to treat it with is going to hurt. Like it's either going to be stitches because it won't stop bleeding, or they're going to handle me and like I didn't want nobody to touch my finger but me. So I walk off the ship with this bleeding finger, wrapped in all these wads and wads of tissue. Luckily, I packed my pocket with more tissue because by the time I got to the edge of the Pier Grand Turk, it was like bleeding through the tissue. So most cruise ports, not most, but usually like Mexico is known for this. I'm trying to think what other port. Roatan was like this. Like there's usually a pharmacy in port. Well, Grand Turk is not one of them ports. There was like, so I asked for help, and I was kind of like, hey, like, is there a pharmacy somewhere I can buy a Band-Aid? I'm thinking like a Band-Aid would be good enough. Well, there is like a little shack on Grand Turk right before you get to like the taxi stand. They actually have chips. They have like Tylenol. They have a lot of things. They have pregnancy tests if you want a pregnancy test in Grand Turk. They had like all these things that were helpful. However, the amount of bleeding, like I bought a box of Band-Aids. I bought some peroxide from her. Doused my finger in peroxide. That burned like hell. My finger bled immediately through the Band-Aid, so I had to rewrap it with the tissue. And I was like, all right, well, FYI, there's a downtown in Grand Turk, $10 each way, by cab. There's a pharmacy, so it's not your traditional stop. So like you just have to let the person know who's driving, like stop me past the pharmacy. One dude got off at the barber. Like apparently there's a barber shop that people we go to in Grand Turk. I don't know. But actually she waited for me because she was like, do you need a prescription or do you just need some items? And I'm like, I just need some gauze, like tape, some things to like wrap up this finger. So she actually waited for me. And the other passengers on board were very kind. So $20 round trip. Was able to get me some little first aid things for $24, and I got to keep the finger. And I was supposed to put this on do not disturb. So yeah, I had a different type of excursion in Grand Turk, not the type of excursion that I was expecting to have, but the lesson learned is that there is a downtown in Grand Turk, and there's a pharmacy in Grand Turk. The downtown area had like some shacks with food, drinks, what is it called? Souvenirs if you want. There's like a beach, but it was kind of rough that day. So if you wanted something else to do in Grand Turk that's not Margaritaville at Sea pool, you can like go downtown, and then there's kind of cabs that kind of flow in and out. $10 per person round trip. So that was my excursion in Grand Turk, trying to save my finger. All right, let's get back into the comments. Hi, Margaret Logan's here. Thank you for being a channel member, Margaret. Who else we got? Crazy Homebody Girl says, oh, Cara Maria. Yeah, she was on, because I looked at her. She has, I don't know if she has blue eye contacts or her eyes are actually blue, but she was the only one that, like, she walked past and I was kind of like, she looks familiar. And then she had a shirt on that had Cara Maria. And so, yeah, she said, I used to watch the challenge. I've fallen off, the seasons be too long. And I haven't sat and watched MTV in a long time. But yeah, they apparently had some sort of MTV The Challenge. This cruise company was hosting, and the thing fell apart, but some people actually sailed, including some of the influencers, I guess. Hey, Mark Haggis says, what up? See you in the chat. Glad you made it home safely. Thank you. Yes, I made it home. It was interesting. So the second half of the trip, as you all know, I was caught up in the furlough. I was laid off at one point. But in the middle of the trip, I had to start being on government shutdown watch because they started making like administrative votes to kind of open it up. So yeah, the government reopened on Thursday, and I was like, I'm in the middle of the ocean. So I was actually thinking about like extending, because again, I'm on this status run for Royal. I'm like, when's the next time I can kind of like do this many cruises back to back to back to kind of accrue points? So I was gonna, if they weren't making any moves, and I thought we weren't going to reopen till like maybe January. If they weren't making any moves, I was going to even tag on another cruise, like the sailing right after my last one was going to Cozumel, which is something I also learned about Royal Caribbean. It's like, even though a ship might go back to back, I think Royal does a really good job of like variegating the itineraries. So there was an older gentleman, he was 91, that I met. He was assigned to my table. He was doing back to back to back, and literally, I think that's what 14 days of cruising. So 2 weeks of cruising, and only a couple of repeats of ports with Perfect Day. So FYI, if you decide to tag on cruises with Royal, you have a better chance of not doing the same what is it called, itinerary back to back. Hey, folks, speaking of Margaret, Drew says, I thought the company that owns MTV is shutting down MTV. Really? Interesting that MTV will book a cruise. And see, that's the thing. It wasn't MTV. I have to find the name of I will take so much time going through the Facebook group, but there is a company that they do these cruises based on these themes. So they had a Big Brother cruise that fell through over the summer, and they had apparently MTV Challenge cruise. But I was just surprised that they're using these, I would assume, trademark names for these cruises, and saying that we're going to pay the stars of the show. And some of the stars like they didn't get paid. Some people like they didn't get their cabin. I don't know if anybody was turned away from the cruise port. It seemed like most people were just kind of like, yeah, I didn't get a room and stayed home. A couple people were kind of like, oh, what's the cost? I'm already thinking about coming on this cruise anyway, so what's the cost? It was just interesting to watch because, yeah, it was interesting to watch. I was like, I just never seen, like, I'm like, damn, these people are getting scammed in real time. Parker's on the go is here. Hey, PLTG, I was laughing at y'all's comment on Enchantment of the Seas related to the jewel sailing. Folks are speaking. Hi, Lashia Harrison. So many new names in the chat. Welcome in. Folks saying happy Monday. Turkisha says C will definitely drop them coins on her eats and drinks. Absolutely. I want food and drinks will get me a long way, particularly drinks, because I can just sit there, give me a cute little bar to post up, give me a book, and I can sit there. Which leads me to, like, I finally made Prime, y'all, during this last sailing. It took some work. And when I say it took some work, it took some time and it took some finances. So my See It With C contribution to y'all over the next year is going to be letting y'all know if this Prime situation is worth it. Because I know I get free drinks in the casino, so it'll be interesting to see how that helps. But one thing that I learned is once you start getting deals, the expectation is that you have to accrue an average of 200 points per sailing to maintain those deals. So we're going to do this little experiment. My prime is good until March 2027. So we'll see if like, we'll reassess next year, spring, to see like if it's something I want to keep going for. Now, immediately I can say, instead of doing it across multiple cruises, because like, while I appreciate Royal Caribbean, it works right now because I'm on the status run. Like I want to at least get to Diamond Plus. Currently working on Diamond, but probably in 2027, I'll be thinking about like Diamond Plus. So whenever I'm doing like the multiple going hard on Royal, it makes sense. But like next year, I know like my goal is to hit Diamond at the end of this year. Next year, I'm already booked for a lot of stuff. So I probably will only have like 2 Royal Caribbean cruises. And I don't know if those cruises I know one of them will not be on a casino deal. So it's going to be a lesson and exercise of like, if it's worth it. Because I do know like, I want to be able to move around to other cruise lines. So stay tuned. Hey, Regina. Regina's here saying, hey, seeing all the folks in chat. Welcome in, Regina. Thanks for being here. Regina just got off of Star Princess. So she is also the Travel Savvy Hub. So we are looking for, keep your eyes glued to Regina's channel so that you all can see some first looks of not Star of the Seas. Why I say that? Star Princess. There we go. Star Princess. Torquisha says, Frankenfinger, glad you're okay. Yeah, Frankenfinger, I downgraded it too. So I was able to move to a smaller, this is what it looks like. Hopefully it's not too gross. So I was able to downgrade Band-Aids to a smaller Band-Aid. Now I kind of can just walk around without it being on. I just put a little ointment on it. My worry though is I don't know if it has filling in it anymore. I think I might have shaved off a couple nerves. Because it feels, it feels kind of interesting. Like when I poured the peroxide in it, it definitely felt like my finger, and I could just be because it was painful, but it definitely felt like my finger flapped open. So I just kind of like wrapped it up real tight and hoped that it glued itself back together a little bit. But I'm sure that's not like the medical approach I should have taken. So we're going to hope the feeling comes back to Frankenfinger. Regina says, be sure to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Yes, please do. Please do. Torquisha says, an old trick is to pack the open cut wound with sugar and wrap it tight, but not too tight. And that was the thing too. I've completely forgot my like 12th grade first aid. So when I first wrapped it, I definitely was like, my finger's cold. So I definitely overwrapped it. Then that first night taking off, anyway, I'm not gonna get too far into the weeds, but I didn't know, what does sugar do to your finger? And apparently I need to travel with some, what is it called? Liquid skin. Then I met this lady at Giovanni's and she was like, oh, only thing you need is a little bit of super glue. It won't hurt you. So yeah. Regina says, I've never heard that about Grand Turk. Good tip. Yeah, it was, even though like I was bleeding to death for the ride over, well, actually ride there and back. It was cool to see like a part of Grand Turk that wasn't necessarily the cruise port. And I peeped this bar that's apparently new. I'm not gonna tell y'all name because I'm mad that I didn't get to try it because my finger was falling apart. But there's a new bar that I want to try out that's like right kind of outside the port. I feel like you can walk there. It's gonna be a good hike, but it's a little beyond Jack Shack. Not on the actual beach, but you gotta kind of either take a cab or walk on the outskirts, or take a I didn't realize there's a big golf cart culture because again, I rarely leave the beach in the cruise port. So it was really cool to see, like, get a quick tour around Grand Turk. Mickey says she never heard of the sugar trick, but she never had a chance to try it. And trust, you don't want a chance to try it. Like, you don't want a chance to try it. It was like bleeding so bad that like I had initially put a Band-Aid on it and I just left that Band-Aid on there and then wrapped it again with just extra things. But I was just determined. I was like, nobody is working on this finger but me because I need to be able to control the pain. And I think it was really the pain control more than the actual the fee because I have travel insurance. So I could have went down to the infirmary, but I was just like, the way this thing is feeling, I could not have let a person like that wasn't me navigate what was going on with my finger. Liam says, "Are you back to work yet?" Yes, today was my first day back. And I will leave it at that. It was my first day back. Yeah. But I will say it has me like reconsidering a lot of things. So a lot of you don't know, like I used to work, I was working, or I do work a 4 10-hour day schedule just to have my Fridays off, which, you know, gives me a 3-day weekend, kind of helps me like edit on Fridays, have more than 2 days to cram your life in. But I had been off for like 46 days, kind of was like, why am I waking up at like 6 o'clock in the morning? I'm at work for 10 whole hours. When I get home, I only have like 2 hours to do anything that's like not work related. And then I'm back in bed and like starting this whole crazy cycle over again. So actually today, I will say like, it's just interesting, like how things give you different perspectives. Also, again, as y'all know, like while we were like being shut down and apparently fired, my uncle had passed away. So like a lot of things just give me perspective about life of like, I think the pandemic had already gave me this whole view of like, there is so much more to work and like use your leave and go travel. And so what if people always think you're gone? So anyway, I think I put my little application to change my work schedule. So I want to be able to go back to how it was when I was teleworking, where I don't sleep with the alarm clock typically until I had to return in person. So I want to go back to the good old days where I wake up naturally, get up, hopefully get a workout in, get to work, do a number of hours, and bring my butt on home so that I can have an evening life beyond 2 hours. So I won't be working, well, hopefully soon, I won't be working 10-hour days, I don't think, anymore. So it's going to be interesting to watch like what's going to be my new routine in regards to editing, channel stuff. So there might be a quick adjustment period as I'm like navigating that. But I was just like, I can't do these 4 10-hour days no more. Nope. Turkisha says, going up as straight tomboy and having a Bahamian mother. I saw this and used this all my life. Oh, the sugar trick. That was actually the first time I ever heard it. Liam says, maybe see a doctor for your finger. I saw Dr. Jesus. I kid. But no. So here's a confession. When I was a kid running through King's Dominion, I slid and because they tell you like don't run in the watery spots. I was running the watery spot, slipped, and my foot hit a gate, and literally my pinky toe went that way, and you know, little skin meat right here, that busted wide open, like wide open. And I ain't tell nobody. I didn't go to first aid, nothing. And so I kind of feel like this is gonna be all right. I don't know. I'm gonna keep monitoring. Like, it's not changing colors. It's not oozing. It just kind of feels like I don't got no feeling on it right now. I'm gonna be okay. Turkisha says the reason why you do that is the sugar's supposed to suck up the moisture, kill bacteria, and some other body repair stuff. All right. I squaz the pressure point and dump some peroxide on it. But sugar, all right. My first instinct was like, just stop bleeding. So yeah. So I see that we're at the end of the chat. And that was kind of like my 9 days on Explore the Seas. I don't think like there was anything I would say like just major that happened. Oh, good to know. Parker's on the go says, I've done that before. I eventually got my feeling back. It took a while. Okay, I'll take a while as long as it's not infection. And it doesn't look like infection, but it definitely kind of feels like I could put a pin right there right now and wouldn't know. Tracy said, I see you choose to play around and taking the risk. Sorry. But yeah, so that was my 9 days on Explore the Seas. I will say, like, I don't have to get back on that ship ever again. It wasn't bad. It was I've never finished my comment related to like the stuff that kept breaking. So I told y'all the shower. I took one cold shower. They fixed it immediately. And then when I switched cabins from my back to back, one of the, I don't know, crazy people, I guess, had ran into the TV or something. So, like, you know how the plasma on my screen was like a big blob. So they had to come into my room and replace the TV. So it was like the first time ever having like two cabins with like that required repairs. But I will say real quickly fix them in the grand scheme of things, particularly like on boarding day. Because when I reported, I was like, I'm not about to get a TV until tomorrow. And not that like I need a TV, but as a solo traveler, like I like in the evening at least turn it on and then kind of drift off to sleep, turn it off, go to bed. But they fixed it probably within a couple hours on the first day. So can't really complain about that. But yeah, that was Explore the Seas. I made Prime. I hit Emerald, and now currently editing. It'll be coming out eventually. Currently editing through Jewel of the Sea, so stay tuned for that. I guess we do our church announcements, which finally I'm gonna have the graphic eventually. The graphic is available. I just don't have to upload the graphic now into my slides. But currently, if you're interested in traveling, cruising, hanging out with the vibes, we have the Ultimate Solo Group Cruise is doing Celebrity Reflection. That cruise is actually on sale. So the Black Friday deals is on that one. And we could probably get you on board for less than $1,000. I think it's like $860-ish. There was a new price adjustment if you're on that one. And it's $100 deposit per person. So this is the Ultimate Solo Group Cruise on Celebrity Reflection with DJ and Danielle Experience and Save the Solo Cruiser and I. So that's the info about that. And that one's currently on Black Friday sales. If you can't make that one, but you're interested in like the land and sea component, we have the Ultimate Land and Sea where we're going to be hanging out. Like I'm supposed to do an order, but never mind. Hanging out in New Orleans, May 14th and 15th of 2027. Mindful of the dates. And then we are getting on Carnival Dream, which would be the newest ship to New Orleans. And I think fresh out of Girard Dock on May 16th to head to Cozumel and back. Book with any of those hosts. Popping back over to 2026, the deets are now available. So the Good Gov Getaway 2026 is our Epcot eating and drinking around the world. So that one's more of a meetup style. October 9th to 11th, 2026. You can scan that code to get on list. The activities are available. I need to send them to channel members first. I have two channel members who signed up. So once they get it, then I can release Gem Pop. There's a list of y'all who've already scanned it. So if you already scanned the code, you don't got to scan it again. I just now have to follow up with like reaching out to you all. But I have a cool little set of activities planned for us to kind of just get to know each other and eat and drink around the world, have some games, some competition, some, festivities. It'll be cute. Then we have the Good Gov Getaway 2027, which is on Norwegian Luna, October 7th through the 12th, which is over the Indigenous People Day / Columbus Day holiday out of New York City, or Norwegian's newest ship, the Norwegian Luna. I think it's still $50 deposits for solo travelers, or $50 per person for people more than two or more. But hit me up. I can give you the most recent pricing for that. Oh, and TBD on that one. So yeah, it's CMC. Thanks for chatting with me. Make sure you all go watch the Jewel of the Seas embarkation video if you can. I need y'all's help actually with that one. I don't want to do too much banging, but the video views have been a little low in the YouTube streets because I was doing a lot of room tours. So if y'all can help boost the algorithm back with that one. Only thing you got to do is just leave a comment, hit a thumbs up on that one after you watch the video. And I just have to say thank you. I know Liam was asking, have I been, I'm back to work, because apparently I was not only furloughed, but I was fired at one point during the furlough. But I have to say thank y'all for just all the support related to that too. People literally like reached out in regards to like checking on like, hey, how you doing? some of you have transferred your bookings to me, like multiple bookings. Thank you. That's kind of helpful. I was able to then, of course, you see responses to some of the group. Like, y'all have been so helpful. And usually, like y'all have been so helpful. I'm gonna stop there. It just is. I think what really makes this whole YouTube thing is just the sense of community, and just being able to like talk it out with my channel members, being able to smile about just some of the scary parts sometimes of life. I appreciate y'all just checking in, DMing me, texting me. And then those from the business aspect who are like, hey, can you take on this booking? I appreciate the support for that. We are back to at least the job that pays the bulk of the bills, but that level of support is kind of like, builds my confidence and encouragement related to, building out this travel channel, business, etc. So I appreciate any sort of encouragement that y'all have, whether it's like watching a video, hitting like, asking me when the next video is. That's all encouraging. So thank you. Let's see. Gonna end on a positive comment. Liam says definitely go to doctor if the feeling doesn't come back. We'll do. Liam says have a great night. And Lisa T says, awesome. Yes. And thank you, Lisa T. I'm not gonna get into details, but thank you. All right, let's see. Thanks for chatting with me. Make sure y'all are back here next Monday. And we'll actually be at 7 p.m. next Monday because I don't gotta teach next Monday evening. That will be a trip announcement. It's a good one. It's C. Thanks for chatting with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night, everyone.